Michelle Phillips, the last surviving member of the Mamas and the Papas, carries with her the macabre obsession of a dramatic childhood. Even though she is about to reach the 80-year-old mark, Michelle's painful memories of the past still linger, causing her to always have a negative outlook on life. To know what Michelle had to go through, watch this video until the end. Holly. Michelle Gilliam, who would later become known as Michelle Phillips, was born on June 4, 1944, in Long Beach, California. She was the second child of her parents, Joyce Leone, née Poole, who was a Canadian-born accountant, and Gardner Burnett Gilliam, a merchant mariner from San Diego. Michelle had an older sister named Russell Ann. Michelle's family history held some intriguing connections. Her paternal grandfather, Marcus Gilliam, hailed from Walla Walla, Washington, and had worked as both a miner and a hotelier in Erie, British Columbia. It's worth noting that Gilliam County, Oregon, took its name from her paternal ancestors, highlighting the historical significance of her family lineage. Tragedy struck early in Michelle's life when her mother, Joyce Leone, suffered from heart problems that had roots in a childhood bout with rheumatic fever, which ultimately led to subacute endocarditis. Sadly, her mother's health issues took a grave turn when Michelle was just 5 years old. Her mother succumbed to a related brain hemorrhage, leaving the young Michelle and her sister to grapple with this profound loss. Michelle vividly recalled her mother's illness, reflecting on those difficult times. She remembered how her mother, knowing that her time was limited, would lie on the couch in the evenings, listening as her father, Gardner Gilliam, read to her. One fateful night after Michelle and her sister had been put to bed, her mother's condition took a sudden turn for the worse. She raised her head briefly, then fell unconscious on the couch, and that was the tragic end of Joyce Leone's life. After the tragic loss of Michelle Phillips's mother, her father, Gardner Gilliam, felt the need for a change of scenery to help the family heal from their devastating loss. Gardner decided to relocate the family, which included Michelle and her older sister, Russell Ann, to Buffalo, New York. In Buffalo, Gardner worked as a bartender, and they lived there for approximately 9 months. This move was a significant shift from their previous life in California. However, Buffalo was not to be their permanent home. The family soon returned to California and settled in Pasadena. It was in Pasadena that Michelle would continue to grow and develop, though her life was marked by a series of relocations. In June 1951, just 2 days after Michelle's 7th birthday, the family embarked on another journey, this time heading to Mexico City. Gardner had enrolled to study sociology on the GI Bill at Mexico City College, and this move represented a new chapter in their lives. Michelle spent the following 6 years living in Mexico City, where she attended public schools and, over time, became fluent in Spanish. Throughout her childhood, Spanish remained her primary written language, although she would later acquire proficiency in writing in English. The family's residence in Mexico City was situated in the Roma Sur district of Cuauhtémoc, an area known for its vibrant culture and history. It was here that Michelle, her father, and her sister embarked on a unique adventure, immersing themselves in a different culture and way of life. Michelle recalled that their experiences living in a foreign land played a significant role in helping them cope with the loss of their mother. Instead of succumbing to grief, they became strong, independent, and free individuals. At the age of 13, Michelle Phillips returned to the United States with her father and sister, bringing their unique experiences from Mexico to Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, she embarked on a new phase of her life. It was during this time that she forged a childhood friendship with Sue Lyon, a connection that would become a significant part of her teenage years. Michelle's educational journey in Los Angeles was marked by her attendance at several high schools. Her academic path included stints at schools such as Alexander Hamilton High School and Marshall High School. While she was a student, Michelle displayed a diverse range of interests and talents. She was actively involved in sports and displayed a passion for music, studying piano, guitar, and cello, reflecting her multifaceted and creative nature. However, Michelle's academic journey took a turbulent turn during her sophomore year at Marshall High School. She found herself in trouble after being caught skipping classes and, in an attempt to escape the consequences, forging absence permission slips. Unfortunately, her actions led to her expulsion from Marshall High School. As a result, she was forced to transfer to Eagle Rock High School, where she would continue her education and navigate the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead in her young life. In mid-1961, when Michelle Phillips was just 17 years old, she made a significant move, relocating to San Francisco. She went to live with her friend Tamar Hodel, and there, she embarked on a new chapter in her life. Michelle found work as a model, quickly establishing herself in the world of fashion and advertising. Her striking beauty and charismatic presence led her to appear in a billboard advertisement for Lucky Lager beer, and she also featured in print ads promoting Cole bathing suits, which marked the beginning of her modeling career. However, Michelle's journey in San Francisco was not solely defined by her modeling career. She soon became deeply immersed in the city's countercultural music scene and vibrant nightlife. It was an era of transformation and rebellion, and Michelle embraced it wholeheartedly. She and her friend Tamar Hodel relished going out and making a statement, drawing attention with their unique styles. They had a close friend named Eddie, a flamboyant homosexual who was unabashedly proud of his identity. In an era when being openly gay was relatively uncommon, Eddie's openness left a lasting impression on Michelle. He enjoyed styling their hair, doing their makeup, and helping them choose bold and eye-catching outfits. Michelle remembered this period with nostalgia, acknowledging that while they didn't always have a lot of money, she only experienced true hunger once. It was in this vibrant San Francisco setting that Michelle's life took a dramatic turn. In July 1961, while at a club in the city, she crossed paths with John Phillips, who was touring California with his band, the Journeymen. Their encounter sparked a whirlwind romance, and they fell deeply in love. John Phillips was married at the time, but their connection was undeniable, leading him to divorce his first wife. Their passionate love affair culminated in marriage on December 31st, 1962, when Michelle was just 18 years old. This union marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life, both personally and professionally, as she became an integral part of the iconic folk rock band, the Mamas and the Papas, alongside her husband, John Phillips. Michelle Phillips and John Phillips, the newlyweds, embarked on a significant journey together, relocating to New York City, where their creative journey as songwriters began. It was in this vibrant city that they laid the foundation for the formation of their legendary band, the Mamas and the Papas, which would later become an iconic presence in the music industry. Michelle was not just a charismatic member of the band, she was also a talented songwriter. She played a pivotal role in co-writing some of the band's most cherished hits, including the timeless classic California Dreamin'. This song would find its place on the group's debut album, If You Can Believe Your Eyes and Ears, released in 1966. However, their harmonious journey hit a turbulent patch during the recording of the Mamas and the Papas' second album, when Michelle's affair with Gene Clark of the Byrds was discovered. This revelation came after a previous affair between Michelle and her bandmate, Denny Doherty, had been forgiven. Doherty and John Phillips had even reconciled and wrote I Saw Her Again about the earlier episode. But this time, John Phillips was determined to remove Michelle from the group. Consulting their attorney and record label, John Phillips, along with Cass Elliot and Denny Doherty, served Michelle Phillips with a letter expelling her from the group on June 4, 1966. However, she was later rehired on August 23rd after the remaining members realized that her replacement, Jill Gibson, lacked her stage presence and unique charisma. With Michelle's reinstatement, the group embarked on a brief tour of the East Coast, performing in cities like Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and at Fordham University in New York City. They eventually returned to California, settling in Los Angeles, and recorded their third album, The Mamas and the Papas Deliver, released in 1967. In June 1967, the band, including Michelle Phillips, performed at the iconic Monterey Pop Festival in Monterey, California, a historic event that showcased prominent California-based counterculture musicians and psychedelic rock acts. This festival left a lasting impression on Michelle, who described it as a beautiful and unique experience. The Mamas and the Papas continued their journey, performing their final live show at the Hollywood Bowl in August 1967. Michelle went on to record a fourth and final album with the band, The Papas and the Mamas, in 1968. During this time, her personal life was also undergoing significant changes. In February 1968, she gave birth to her daughter, Chinna Phillips, who would later become a prominent vocalist with the 1990s pop trio Wilson Phillips. Sadly, the marriage between Michelle and John Phillips was foundering, and they filed for divorce in a Los Angeles county court in May 1969. The Mamas and the Papas officially disbanded in 1971, just before the release of their final album, People Like Us, which was recorded to fulfill contract obligations with their record label. In 1969, while still a member of the Mamas and the Papas, Michelle Phillips ventured into acting and took on a role in Graham Parsons' science fiction film, Saturation 70. She shared the screen with notable figures such as Nudie Cohn, Anita Pallenberg, and Julian Jones, the 5-year-old son of Rolling Stones guitarist Brian Jones. However, the film was never completed and ended up as a lost film, leaving this early acting endeavor unrealized. The following year, in the wake of the breakup of the Mamas and the Papas, Michelle Phillips decided to pursue an acting career in earnest. She enrolled in acting classes in Los Angeles and embarked on a journey to establish herself in the film industry. The royalties from the band's records provided her with a steady income while she took her first steps into the world of acting. She honed her acting skills under the guidance of Peggy Fury, dedicating herself to learning the craft from the ground up. Michelle's debut film role came in Dennis Hopper's film The Last Movie in 1971, although her part was minor. Her involvement in the production also marked the beginning of a whirlwind romance, as she and Dennis Hopper married on October 31, 1970. However, their union was short-lived, lasting only 8 days. 2 years later, Michelle was cast in a lead role in the thriller film Dillinger, 1973, as John Dillinger's girlfriend, Billie Frechette. To secure the role, Michelle claimed to have Native American heritage, like her character. Her performance in the film was well received, with Variety praising her and noting her successful transition from the music industry to acting. She was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Most Promising Newcomer, marking a significant achievement in her budding acting career. Reflecting on the experience, Michelle spoke fondly of the support and encouragement she received from her fellow actors, including Warren Oates, Ben Johnson, Cloris Leachman, Richard Dreyfuss, and Harry Dean Stanton. Her collaboration with Stanton would lead to a lifelong friendship. During the same year, Michelle Phillips also lent her vocal talents to a popular single, Basketball Jones, by Cheech and Chong, which climbed to number 15 on the Billboard Singles Chart. In 1974, she featured in the action horror television film The California Kid, opposite Martin Sheen. Michelle's appearances in the film industry continued, and she made a cameo in a party scene with her then-boyfriend Warren Beatty in the film Shampoo, 1975. She referred to Beatty as the love of her life. In 1975, Michelle Phillips signed a solo recording contract with A&M Records, marking a return to her musical roots. She released her first solo single in 1976, titled No Love Today, which was included on the soundtrack for the movie Mother, Jugs, and Speed. Michelle Phillips' journey encompassed both music and acting, and her contributions left a mark on both realms of entertainment. In 1977, Michelle Phillips took a significant step in her music career by releasing her first and only solo album, titled Victim of Romance. This album was produced by the renowned Jack Nietzsche and released under A&M Records. Reflecting on her solo project, Michelle admitted that she had never felt secure enough as a vocalist to embark on a solo endeavor earlier in her career. She acknowledged the remarkable talent of her fellow band member, Cass Elliot, stating, "I'm good, but Cass was always better." Despite her reservations, Michelle was deeply involved in every aspect of the album's production, from the recording and mixing process to designing the package and cover herself. Her dedication to the project showcased her commitment to making her mark as a solo artist. However, her first two solo singles from the album failed to make a significant impact on the U.S. music charts. Simultaneously with the release of her solo album, Michelle contributed her vocal talents to her former stepdaughter, Mackenzie Phillips, singing backup vocals on Zulu Warrior for her ex-husband John Phillips's second solo album, Payback and Follow. This collaboration highlighted the continued connection within their family. In the same period, Michelle Phillips ventured into the world of film, starring as Natasha Rambova, Rudolph Valentino's second wife, in Ken Russell's film Valentino, 1977. The film received mixed reviews, with some praise for its early sequences, despite some critics noting a degree of cynicism. The following year, in 1978, Michelle married radio executive Robert Birch, marking a new chapter in her personal life. However, their marriage was relatively short-lived and ended in 1979. In 1979, Michelle Phillips appeared in the film adaptation of Sidney Sheldon's novel Bloodline, a thriller starring Audrey Hepburn and Ben Gazzara. Unfortunately, the film received negative reviews, and her performance was criticized as being drab by Variety. During this time, Michelle continued her involvement in music by recording the song Forever for the movie soundtrack of California Dreaming, a surf film unrelated to her former group, despite the title's connection to their famous song. During this period, Michelle began a relationship with actor Granger Hines. In 1982, she gave birth to their son, Austin Devereaux Hines. However, her relationship with Hines ended in 1984. In 1986, Michelle Phillips authored her autobiography titled California Dreamin': The True Story of the Mamas and the Papas. It was released shortly after her former husband John Phillips's autobiography, Papa John. In her book, Michelle shared various personal anecdotes, including her first meeting with Cass Elliot, her remarkable success in a craps game in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and the story behind her writing credit on California Dreamin', which continued to bring her royalties. Beginning in 1987, Michelle Phillips took on a significant role in the world of television, starring in the popular series Knots Landing. She portrayed the character Ann Matheson Sumner, a constantly scheming and influential figure in the show. Ann was the mother of Paige Matheson, played by Nicolette Sheridan, and Michelle's performance earned her a place as a series regular starting in 1989. She continued to captivate audiences with her portrayal of Ann Matheson Sumner until the series' conclusion in 1993. However, during this time, Michelle experienced some personal challenges. On December 2, 1987, she faced legal trouble when she was arrested in Amarillo, Texas, for marijuana possession. The incident occurred after she was pulled over for speeding while riding in a car with her boyfriend, Jeffrey Tozer. The police discovered the marijuana during a search of their vehicle. Michelle Phillips was booked and subsequently released on a $500 bond. Her musical talents also remained in the spotlight. In late 1987, Michelle lent her vocal talents to Belinda Carlisle's studio album, Heaven on Earth, providing backup vocals on the album's chart-topping single, Heaven Is a Place on Earth. The following year, she expanded her acting portfolio by making a guest appearance in the first season episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, titled We'll Always Have Paris. In this episode, she portrayed Janice Mannheim, the wife of the scientist Paul Mannheim. During this period, Michelle's personal life took an important turn as well. She and Jeffrey Tozer got engaged on February 29, 1988. The couple also made a heartwarming decision to adopt and raise Aaron Wilson, a friend of Michelle's son, Austin. While still actively starring in Knots Landing, Michelle continued to appear in film roles. In 1989, she had a supporting role in the gambling-themed film Let It Ride, co-starring with Richard Dreyfuss and Terry Garr. Her performance was characterized by the Los Angeles Times as that of a deliciously blonde society tramp. Michelle also appeared in the thriller Scissors, 1991, opposite Sharon Stone. She portrayed the wife of a therapist treating a mentally unstable woman, and her role added depth to the suspenseful narrative. Next, she played a supporting role as the wife of a former race car driver in the action thriller Joshua Tree, 1993, starring alongside Dolph Lundgren. Following the conclusion of Knots Landing in 1993, Michelle Phillips took on a leading role in the short-lived drama series Second Chances, 1993-1994, alongside Connie Sellecca and Jennifer Lopez. She also starred in the 1993 television thriller film Rubdown, where she played a woman embroiled in a divorce plot in which her husband paid a masseur to have an affair with her. While the film featured steamy scenes, it received mixed reviews, with critics noting its cynicism and the lack of redemption or character development among the characters. In late September 1993, Michelle faced a harrowing experience when she and her friend Aloma Ichinoz were robbed at gunpoint outside a restaurant in West Hollywood, California, adding a troubling chapter to her life during this period. Michelle Phillips continued to make appearances in television and film, maintaining her presence in the entertainment industry. In 1996, she played the role of Laura Collins in the television drama film No One Would Tell. This marked another addition to her extensive acting career. She also lent her voice to the character Raven, a television host, in Ralph Bakshi's HBO animated series Spicy City in 1997. Starting in 1997, Michelle took on the role of Abby Malone, the mother of Valerie Malone, played by Tiffany Thiessen, on the popular Fox series Beverly Hills 90210. This role allowed her to continue showcasing her acting talent on a widely watched platform. In the same year, she reprised her earlier role of Anne Matheson in the television film Knots Landing: Back to the Cul-de-Sac, revisiting her iconic character from the Knots Landing series. During this time, Michelle's personal life saw changes as well. After parting ways with Jeffrey Tozer in 1996, she began dating plastic surgeon Steven Zacks in 1999, marking a new chapter in her personal life. From 1999 to 2000, she had a guest role on the television series The Magnificent Seven. In this series, she portrayed Maud Standish, the mother of one of the seven, adding depth to the storyline. In the years following the turn of the millennium, Michelle Phillips continued to appear in film projects. She took on a supporting role in the comedy Jane White is Sick and Twisted in 2002. She also ventured into more controversial and thought-provoking territory with her role in the gay-themed drama Harry plus Max in 2004. Additionally, she appeared as a waitress in the independent comedy Unbeatable Harold in 2006. Between 2001 and 2004, Michelle Phillips made television appearances in a recurring role on the WB drama series Seventh Heaven. In the show, she portrayed Lily Jackson, the sister of the family matriarch Annie Jackson Camden, played by Catherine Hicks. In 2009, Michelle Phillips made a memorable appearance at the annual TV Land Awards, which marked the 30th year celebration of Knots Landing. Her presence served as a testament to the enduring popularity of the show. She also appeared in a minor role in the Norwegian historical film Betrayal, which depicted the German occupation of Norway. This showcased her ability to extend her talents to a global audience. In 2017, tragedy struck as Stephen Zacks, Michelle Phillips's long-term partner of 18 years, passed away. The loss of a loved one undoubtedly marked a significant and difficult period in her life. In 2019, Michelle Phillips made another notable appearance, this time as an interview subject in Andrew Slater's documentary, Echo in the Canyon. The documentary focused on the Laurel Canyon music scene of the 1960s, providing her with an opportunity to reflect on her involvement in a transformative period of music history and share her insights with a new generation of viewers. What do you think about Michelle Phillips's sad life? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.